Annalise Keating, a brilliant, charismatic, and seductive professor of defense law, teaches a class called How to Get Away with Murder. Annalise, also a criminal defense attorney, selects a group of students, the best and brightest, to assist with her cases at her firm alongside her employees, the trustworthy and discreet Frank Delfino, and Bonnie Winterbottom, an associate attorney. Mysteries arise that test everyone's limits and reveal dark truths.
This week on You've Never Seen That, How to Get Away with Murder.
From Atlanta, Fulton County.
Yeah, but one objective.
The color I see. Then you maintain the status.
December 7th, night.
You never seen that! You never seen that!
Welcome back to another episode of the You've Never Seen That podcast, the show where two dudes watch a random episode of a random television series that they've never seen before, and then they discuss the plot, the characters, and the fandom surrounding it. Who am I? I am your host, the Reverend Dr. Michael Haas, Esquire.
Every time. Oh boy, on this side is the sexy voice you guys all know as your boy Bell. And oh boy, we have not had a show like this in a long time.
There are
Oh, baby.
things I want to say.
We have not had a show.
I don't want to say them yet.
We have not had a show that has an abundant cast
Yeah.
thrown into a very deep convoluted story in
Yeah.
the middle.
Yep.
We even get a previously on.
And it helped. Not
Nothing.
at all. Not even a little bit.
Not even. You could have just.
You might as well have just shown me the We're Back dinosaur movie for 3 minutes and then put me into an episode.
The previously on could have been like Viola Davis like riding a horse into.
It's Viola Davis just making a viola, like just crafting one with it. Like,
and then like for some reason,
Yeah.
like Tom Hanks is in the background like baking a cake.
I have a quick question.
yeah.
Sure.
Yes, producer Josh.
Would you think that shows that have previously on would be viewed as cheating for this show?
If you would have asked me when we first started this, I would have been like, oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like definitely, if it's any prior information, we don't want it. I don't know, man. Now
If that is cheating, then that is the worst cheat. Like that's as if you're playing poker and someone snuck you a card and it was a joker
yeah.
because it doesn't
It's just a picture of a dog.
doesn't
doesn't help at all.
Any good.
Yeah, I think I
a
can honestly
Yu-Gi-Oh
say I can honestly take Yu-Gi-Oh card. Full house, read 'em and weep. 4 aces and a blue eyes white dragon.
The dealer looks at you and you guys look at each other. He sneaks you the card. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
You're holding up your deck of cards and one is just
No, to answer your question, no.
I don't think so. I would say no just because I'm looking back, I can't think of a single show
Right.
that has had a previously on where it actually helped me.
Because
If anything, it makes me the thing is, it's a previously on, so it's what happened in the episode before I randomly watched an episode, which just makes it a different random episode.
it's
If it was like a previously on the last 3 seasons, then maybe.
it's almost as if we don't have any context.
Yes. Almost as if we were 2 dudes who watched a random episode of
Do you think people are sick of that joke yet?
I don't know, we've been making it for like 4 years, so
Yeah, no, I just
at this point I hope there's people like doing like the Rocky Horror Picture Show with it at home where they're like plot characters they're doing it along with the TV now.
just to catch everybody up, we watched the ABC show.
Is it? I just know that it was on Netflix.
ABC
It had to have aired somewhere.
How to Get Away with Murder.
Season 1,
episode
13.
11.
11? What did I say?
Season 1, episode 11, which was titled
Best Christmas ever.
And let me tell you, this was just a light, just a cheery, delightful Christmas story.
It wasn't
depressing about
not at
murder
all.
and rape and Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
Just your classic Christmas story.
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes really writes the.
Ooh, can we talk about Shonda Rhimes before we do anything else?
Yes, yeah, we can't. Obviously. Wait,
Shon-
hold on, real quick. Can we talk about something before Shonda Rhimes?
Do we need a sidebar for this?
We need to sidebar for this. So yeah.
Josh, plug your ears. Don't listen.
Yeah, please. So, would you have enjoyed being at any of these Christmases?
No.
Right? None of them look. It's the best Christmas ever. None of them even looked like the.
I
recognize that it's like.
I think it's because we aren't rich. We don't have money.
I don't know. If I was at the Gracie Mansion and someone was like screaming at their governor's boyfriend's campaign manager,
Is this worth the sidebar?
I'm just saying none of them looked that fun.
Anyway,
it's titled "Best Christmas Ever," and none of them looked even remotely the best.
So Shonda Rhimes is
ABC's Chuck Lorre.
She's a network powerhouse.
Yeah.
She's essentially the creative mind for a bunch of different shows.
What were the other ones we've watched of her? Scandal.
She also did the hospital show.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
She did Private Practice.
Yep.
I've noticed
Private Practice. That was the show I was trying to think of.
I've
earlier.
noticed one thing.
Yeah.
The Shonda Rhimes approach is select a profession
Yes.
and make all those people horny.
Yep. Yes.
How to Get Away with Murder. Everyone works for a criminal defense lawyer.
Horny lawyers.
They're all horny lawyers.
Grey's Anatomy.
Horny doctors.
Horny doctors.
Scandal. Horny politicians.
Yeah.
You just
Private Practice. Different horny lawyers. Still horny lawyers. Different.
The
Station 19. I don't know anything about it. Producer Josh just pulled it up. Horny firefighters. Perfect.
give people what they want.
Which is horny professions. I can't wait till she runs out of sexy professions. She did Bridgerton? That's just what? That's just horny old white people. Not old white people. That's horny historical white people.
They're not all white.
Okay, you're right. That's correct.
Jean Page, what's his name? Jean Page, the guy from Bridgerton. He is. And I wanted to say, I really wanted to save this for later because I wanted, not him.
No.
Jean Page something. Reggae Jean Page. I don't know how to say. Anyway, he is a hunk. I wanted to save that for later.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
People don't use the word hunk enough.
You know what? We don't. We really don't. Anyway, Bridgerton is just historically horny people.
So
how's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shonda
It
Rhimes.
takes place in like London though, don't they? Like old.
The Shonda Rhimes approach is pick a profession, make it horny, have it go for 17 seasons.
Yeah.
That's all she does. She's so successful.
Hold on, what's next? I'm gonna use my powers. I don't know if you know this, but over the weekend I actually leveled up at our temple to a level 7 Durnist.
Oh, sure.
Which means I can now write I can executively produce TV shows.
For those of you who
on
for those of you who are not familiar with Dernism,
watch the previous 2 episodes of this podcast.
Yes, that just means you aren't a regular listener of this podcast.
So pick it up, because
you would know
this will happen.
We are all practicing members of the Laura Dern
religion.
faith.
Yeah, we are Dernists. Okay, I am going to use my level 7 Dernism powers to write a Shonda Rhimes show.
Go for it.
Horny middle school teachers.
Horny teachers.
Horny teachers.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
And there's room for that to get a little questionable and racy, like TV tends to do.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like there's totally some like mommy and daddy are broken up, parent-teacher conference, bang the teacher, horny teachers.
I mean,
it's in there.
Here's the thing: we say all of this not as an attack on Shonda Rhimes because
she's killing it.
She's also great.
Yeah,
but
she actually writes some really good, really good television.
Her approach has yet to fail.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Do you ever see what he's doing?
Oh, he's checking the tracking on our Laura Dern calendar or candle.
Calendar.
I'm telling you, we got room right here for a Laura Dern calendar.
Let's jump into what was your knowledge of How
All
to
right.
Get Away with Murder.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Watched an episode of How to Get Away with Murder.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a little pissed.
What's that?
Shonda Rhimes, only worth $150 million.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like, I think Jim Parsons has done more episodes.
That's a fourth of Chuck Lorre money.
Dang.
Jim Parsons is worth more.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he gets $1 million per episode of
Well, yeah, but she also is like
the creator,
the godmother
yeah.
of so many shows. All right.
Anyway, what did you know?
What was my prior
what
knowledge
did you know
about
the
this?
show?
Nothing that I thought I knew.
Okay.
I thought, nope. I'm not going to lie. This show came into my knowledge around the same time that Making a Murderer happened, which I would call towards the beginning of the true crime explosion. I would put those events similar in the timeline.
I definitely do agree that Making a Murderer was like, I wouldn't say it was.
I wouldn't say
catalyst,
it wasn't the beginning,
but it was definitely the thing that like pushed it over the edge, right?
Yeah.
Like everything was ramping up for true crime, and then Making a Murderer was like,
boop, shot it to the next level. It was the big bang of true crime theory.
Wrong episode.
Wrong episode.
So you didn't know anything about
I didn't know anything about this. I honestly thought it was a like
Scandal?
cold case. No, not even. Not even. I thought it was like cold case, Making a Murderer. What's the other one that everyone always watches?
Forensic Files.
No. Yeah, maybe, but no.
I don't know.
To Catch a Predator?
To Catch a Predator.
No. It's the true crime shows. Dateline, maybe.
Dateline, NBC.
Yeah. I don't know. Or what's the one? 48 hours or whatever missing.
48. Cold 48. What is it?
Cold 45 and 2 zigzags.
48 hours.
Yeah, cold 48 hours. I don't know. It's another show about cases, murder mystery cases.
Sure.
I thought that's what this show was. Honestly, that's what I thought it was.
So
I did not know that it was a horny lawyer drama. I didn't know it was a drama. I didn't know it was horny lawyers, and I guess I knew someone died.
I knew it was Viola Davis. I knew it was Shonda Rhimes. I knew it was ABC. I thought this was Scandal. And then I realized
we've already watched
Scandal. And
Yeah.
then I realized it's because it's a Shonda Rhimes show, and all she does is have a white background with the show title in red.
Yeah.
Scandal.
Yep.
How to Get Away with Murder.
How I Met Your Mother.
What? Sexy.
Jason Segel?
Jason Segels.
All right.
Other than that, like the actual content of the show, I pretty much gleamed from the title. I assumed it was something about murder. Had no idea it was about like criminal justice lawyers. I didn't know it was about, again, going back to what I said at the beginning, so much happens in this episode that there is no way that I would have ever guessed what the show is about. To be honest, still don't know what the show is about.
I'm not going to lie. If you had come up with horny lawyers, I would have been like, you're 90% of the way there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is why Shonda Rhimes is so good, though. The nuances, the little detail that makes this different than private practice, which I'm assuming is also horny lawyers.
Okay, I'll let you finish your thought.
I'm just saying, like, the devil's in the details, and Miss Rhimes knows it.
You could easily just stop at horny profession.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She's like, we're going to build the world around the horny profession, but the story is still going to be very good.
She is to horny network television what Jon Favreau is to the MCU.
Because honestly, all the stuff that she does, like, it's so much more than the horniness.
Do you think her opus, do you think her swan song, do you think her final crowning achievement will just be horny TV executives? Like, that's what this is all been leading to?
Oh my god.
Shonda Rhimes Endgame.
So funny. So let's also talk briefly about the audience of the show. Who is this for, right?
It's I have a big I wish I could have someone answer this for me. Yep.
I was going to jump in with several things you could have said.
Right, which would have then made this horny podcasting, which then we would have looked down and seen produced by Shonda Rhimes.
I've got a big...
created by Shonda Rhimes. Created by Shonda Rhimes.
Go on.
No, I am. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's not. This is a family show where we forget that Chernobyl happened. No, I want to know. I knew some people who were like in their early 20s who were huge into Grey's Anatomy, right? Horny Doctors was about as far from their daily life as possible, yet they loved Grey's Anatomy, right?
Right.
So when I watch a show like this, I think like, oh, this show is for people in their 40s who are familiar with academic goings-ons at a illustrious New York college and or Philadelphia college and or the criminal defense legal world, right? That's what I think.
Right.
Having known people that were all about horny doctors who were completely removed from the medical profession entirely, I think maybe more people like this show than I think.
Can we? Can you get?
And I think the demographic is probably a lot bigger.
Can we get a date check on when this episode or season aired, and then when the final, or if it's still
going?
airing?
This episode, this was season 1. And, it started in 2014. It ended in 2020.
Okay, so
This episode aired in 2015.
did it end in 2020, or is it still airing?
Well, it has the end bracket,
Okay, so it's over.
so I think it's over.
Which is weird, because again, Shonda Rhimes normally is like, we're gonna push this as long as we can go. But then again, I don't want to. I'm gonna make a note because I want to bring this up later.
Yeah.
I think that this show doesn't really skew in terms of like gender.
No.
I think
I actually didn't. For once, I didn't write that down.
yeah, I mean I think the age range is a little not even older, but I would say like 18 and up, right?
Knowing what I know now, yes.
So we just unexpectedly had a guest drop in and
Yeah.
bring their children.
Yeah, so we now have an audience now. We've made it. We've made it. Hi, Kennedy.
This is the stuff we live for. Oh my gosh.
We now have an audience.
I don't even know what
You
I
want
was
to make
talking
it?
about.
You want to just? We made it. We really made it.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about how there's no gender for this show, which I wrote that down too.
So I think the age demographic skews a little older, 18 maybe plus.
Yeah.
Can't take this podcast seriously with the child in the background.
No, it's fine. It happens. It's
Oh, the listening audience will be very confused.
Yes, because I don't think they can hear the children. Maybe they can.
Probably not.
Maybe through producer Josh's microphone. I don't know.
I think it has a pretty wide range, right? It's about murder. People.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
Sure.
Enjoy murder.
Can I tell you something? I wanna find this out. I would love to go to a different country
Right.
that has a very different value set than America,
So
and find out if they're like, why do you guys like murder
here's the
so
thing,
much?
Like, that's all. We could spend a whole freaking half hour talking about this.
right.
I
don't think anyone- I don't think
weird fascination with like hyper violence
Yeah.
as like being okay, but like profanity and sexuality and drugs like as not is
Yeah.
so bizarre.
Yeah.
I was in France as a child, and I
Right.
remember being 8 years old.
Because your name is Bellamy, which is French.
Bellamy.
Yeah.
I remember being
So they just let you in.
right.
Yeah.
I remember being 8 years old in France with my cousin, and they live in France.
Name, please. Bellamy. Please, sir, this way.
Right, this way.
Name,
And we're-
sir. Greg, get the fuck out.
I can't even say Greg in a French accent.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I remember watching TV.
Maybe that's why we only have Gregs here.
Watching TV.
Gregory.
Gregory.
That's pretty good, actually.
That was actually really good.
And a soap commercial comes on.
yeah.
And in the soap commercial, the woman is fully nude using soap.
Yep.
And at the end, they're like, soap, whatever. French.
I think it's
French soap.
S-O with umlaut, or S-O with a line over it, P.
What's
Soup.
the soap? Soft soap.
Dove.
And my cousin was just like,
Savon.
he was just like chill. He's like, yeah, that's a commercial.
He's like,
for
yeah,
soap.
naked.
And I was
naked
like,
lady.
but I saw a boob. I
Yeah.
saw 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm 8, and I'm like, you can't do that. Meanwhile, like, Mortal Kombat is on, and it's like, they Scorpion rips the spinal column out of the person he's fighting, and
Yeah.
then everyone's like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
We could spend 40 minutes talking about that, but I think that the demographic for this is pretty big because people love murder. People in America love murder.
Yeah. Horny murderers.
I mean,
Actually, technically, I think that's what this show is.
you say that as a joke, but it's like kind of not a joke.
I think that's what this show is.
Well, okay, so we talked about who the show's for. We talked about what we knew. What do we do after that, producer Josh?
The plot?
The plot. Is that what we do?
No, the characters.
The characters.
No, the plot, then the characters, then the fandom surrounding it.
Characters then plot.
It has been so long since we've talked about the fandom because we haven't really gotten a show that has a fan. I mean, we talk about
I feel like we
demographic, I guess, but like
we have talked about it a little.
Do you know when the ATGAWM con is?
Will you look up some stats on how popular the show is? Because
Sure.
I can tell you right now that this Shonda Rhimes vehicle is very popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
While he's looking that up, we haven't had a show like this that has like 1 million people in it.
There are so many people in this.
Let's briefly just talk about the people that matter.
Okay, let's break it down since we haven't had a huge cast like this in a while. Let's break it down the way we used to, where they're kind of like by segment or plot line.
the plots. Sure.
Right. So we have the practice, right?
Producer Josh is pulling up the thermometer. Looks like we got an 88%
on the thermometer.
On the thermometer.
Wow. All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
not
telling
bad.
you, people like this show.
People like this show. So we have the practice, right, which is like the lawyer group, which is Viola Davis's character, Annalise Keating.
Right.
Right. We have
Can I pause right there?
sure, yeah.
What a delight.
Viola Davis?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so good.
Everything she does.
She's so good.
Everything she does.
You know the first thing I ever
She's
saw
just a
her in?
delight.
Fences.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first thing. Ever since that, I was like, wow, she is incredible. Okay, so we have Annalise, who is Viola Davis. We have Bonnie Winterbottom.
Before we go through all this, can we just I just
let's.
really quickly want to look through the names.
Yeah.
Winterbottom, Millstone, like the names are so
Castillo.
the names are so
Delfino.
It's like she used a name generator
Yes. Yeah.
because like
Horny lawyer name generator. You know how you like in like D&D, you're like elf name generator. Like she was like horny lawyer generator, and this
like all of the last
Asher Millstone.
That's what I mean. Like the names feel like
Frank Delfino. Frank Delfino.
they seriously feel like name generator.
But here's the thing, right? Frank Delfino is like he's kind of like, it sounds like maybe he's like the muscle. He is part of the practice.
I can't tell you anything about anything.
Annalise
This
Keating.
didn't make any
Delfino
sense.
sounds like a mob.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
crime
That's
lord.
exactly
And he also-
what I'm saying.
He also kind of plays that character.
Yes, and he makes it. Well, at the end of our episode, I'm jumping ahead quite a bit. At the end of our episode, though, he says, "Hey, if you want me to just handle it, say the word."
Yeah.
Right?
And I was like, does that mean
You're going to kill somebody, right? That's what that means, right? And his name is Frank Delfino, so what he should have said was, "Hey, Viola Davis, you want me to take care of it?" You're like, that's what he should like.
Well, no, because
His name is Frank Delfino.
Yeah,
Like,
but
if you're going to do one.
but that's like mob boss.
Okay,
mob
yeah.
assassin is very different than mob
True,
boss.
good point,
Don't you
good
know
point.
anything?
It's almost like I've never seen Shonda Rhimes' Horny Mobsters show. Does it exist? It might exist.
Honestly,
Okay.
I bet you she has a book of like what she's gonna do next.
You know what's funny is a longtime friend of the show, Shonda Rhimes, is sitting at home listening to this, just crossing horny mobsters off of her list. She's like, "Damn it, they know
So-
my secret."
Let's. Where do we leave off? You talked
Okay,
about
we have
Winterbottom.
Annalise, Frank, and Bonnie are and Annalise's dead husband Sam are all part of the practice, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we have a set of students.
I think they're like interns.
Interns?
Because I think
Students?
they said Bonnie is an associate. So I'm guessing Sam and Annalise and maybe Frank were partners. And Bonnie is the associate. So I think they're interns.
There's Wes Gibbons, which
yep.
he was in Harry Potter.
He was.
He was in all of the Harry Potters.
Yeah.
As like a very tertiary, non-committal
Yes.
character.
I knew I recognized him.
And then we have Michaela and Laurel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a guy named Connor. The reason why that these 4 are important is because you realize very quickly that they are up to something.
Well,
or whatever they're up to has already happened.
Yes, and you know what I think they're trying to do?
Get away
with murder.
Oh my god.
Now they're just trying to figure out how.
We also meet
For real quick, I didn't know anyone's name when I was doing this,
of course.
so I had to keep calling them Kid Crew.
Okay.
So there was always I was like, oh, back to Kid Crew.
I have them written as college kids, and now I realize that they're probably interns at this practice.
They can still be college. That's part of law school.
Let's talk.
They are
about-
college kids. We see them go to class.
We have Rebecca. Rebecca is Wes's girlfriend.
Yeah.
They live in the apartment together.
Yeah.
We meet a guy named Asher Millstone.
I don't know who he is or why he's
Did
important.
you, either of you ever watch Oranges?
Orange is the new black.
Oranges, the new black.
Oranges, comma the new black.
That's a comedy Bang Bang joke.
Ah, gotcha.
Anyway, he was in that. He played a pretty big role in that show.
Okay.
Him and Frank.
Oh
are,
yeah.
Like, this cast list is so confusing because it's a case of like some people people know things that other people don't, but those people might know that they don't know that the other people do know, and then those people have to keep it a secret in case the other people know what they know.
Hold on. You almost had that right. What you forgot was that the people who know, they knew that the people who didn't know might know, so they knew that those people who didn't know could know.
I think Frank knows.
Frank knows. I think Frank did it.
I think Frank...
His name's Frank Delfino.
Frank might have a part of it. I don't think he did all of it.
No, I think it was him and Kid Crew.
Frank knows.
Frank knows.
Asher, I think...
Asher knows.
Might know?
No,
he
Asher
also
knows.
but he doesn't know who did it or who also knows.
Right, because the people who do know are Michaela, Laurel, Wes, and Connor.
Right.
So they know, and then people who might know, and then the ones who don't know might know that they know.
We're going to need a bunch of red string.
Yep. If you could just scribble this one out for us.
Connect the dots for us.
No.
He's so mad.
I think you're right.
Producer Josh is so mad at us right now.
I think you're right about Asher not knowing.
I think he does know.
He knows.
Doesn't know who.
Yeah, he knows something's up. He knows that Sam was killed, but he doesn't know by who.
We have a woman named Jackie Groves. I think she's specific to this episode.
Yeah,
we'll
she
talk
is.
about her in a bit. I want to briefly talk about Nate. Nate is Annalisa's new dude.
Boyfriend. Yeah.
All I wanted to say was he's a hunk.
He is a hunk. He is the...
I was going to save the joke for this moment.
Yeah.
But then we started talking about Renee Page.
So many hunks.
Yeah.
There's just so many hunks.
All I wanted to say was people don't use that word enough.
Would you, in any case, or in either case, would you call Nate a himbo?
I thought you were going to have me build my Mount Rush, my hunk.
Your Hunk Rushmore? Mount Hunkmore? There we go, Mount Hunkmore. Yes, please.
The guy that plays
Nate. Okay, yep. All right. Who else?
I haven't put any thought into this.
Okay, so we got one. Who's next?
Well, clearly Jean Rene Page.
Okay, fine.
We'll put Simu Liu on there.
Simu Liu?
Yeah.
Producer Josh agrees. I mean, okay.
You probably got to go with one of the Hemsworths.
That's what I was. Okay, thank you. That's what I was
then
waiting for.
Round it out with the old Gosling.
How many people do you think are on Mount Rushmore?
5?
There's 4 people. There's 4 people on Mount Rushmore.
All right, well, we'll replace... You know what?
No. We're going to add an honorary.
No.
Yeah.
We'll replace Gosling with Lincoln. And that's my Mount Hunkmore.
All right, so in response to your Mount Hunkmore, the 4 hunk Kages above the hidden in the sexy village, That's a Naruto Mount Rushmore joke, by the way. I'm going to go with Camille Nanjiani.
Are you still listening?
Yeah. Oh, did you back me up on that one?
I was gesturing the audience.
The
What?
audience. Camille Nanjiani, he's a hunk now.
They've walked away. It's actually
He's
just a TV playing this YouTube video to nobody.
Yeah. It's actually just the lining of the cell we're trapped in.
Yeah, okay, Camille.
Camille. One of the, you know what? In lieu of a Hemsworth, I'm gonna go Chris Evans.
Okay, sure.
You know what? I'm gonna throw the half Thor Bjornsson in there
This
because
show
he
has
is
just made us horny
podcasters. Shonda Rhimes works in mysterious ways.
Anyway, continue.
No, that I don't.
Is that 4?
I don't- That was 3. I don't know who I'm gonna. I'll get back to you on my 4th. Can I do
Washington?
Can I do? I was gonna say Roosevelt, but okay.
Oh boy.
Can I do Brendan Fraser and Mummy? Specific Brendan Fraser.
I will allow it.
Mummy specific Brendan Fraser.
Let's again. This is a type of show where the plot, if you are a person or people who are watching one episode out of context in the middle of the show without knowing anything about the show, very quickly you will be lost because I did not know what the fuck was going on.
I have frequently used the phrase "out of my depth." Got there real quick with this episode. Real quick. Mount Hunkmore? Is that what we're going with?
I can't believe that this is 10 minutes of the
10 minutes of the podcast is Mount Hunkmore. Yeah.
Okay.
You said your goal for our podcast was to get to the point where we were big enough that we could have inside jokes on T-shirts and sell them, and I think Mount Hunkmore might be the first.
Keeper.
That might be the first.
That and also Dernism.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's highlight the kind of 3 overarching plot points that we sort of gleamed from this episode.
You know what? No, I'm going to take out half Thor Bjornsson. I'm going to put in one of the Hemsworth. I'll put in Chris Hemsworth. Is this plug and play? Do we actually have to build a monument, or can I just kind of swap them out as I go?
I'm sure this can be. I might adjust mine for next episode.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're not locked in yet.
No.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. So the plots are here's the thing. Once I realized the way that this show was written, the plots got a lot easier for me. Right. So you have it seems like probably a series long through line, which is that Sam was killed,
right,
and they're trying to get away with murder, right?
Can I briefly bring something up?
Yeah.
If the entire show is about the murder of one guy, how does it go 5 seasons?
I think it's one of those where, like, I think Shonda Rhimes probably does this, and this is another testament to how awesome she is. I think she comes to a pitch meeting with the whole ass thing. And I think she's like, the dude doesn't get murdered until season... I guess this is season 1.
Spoiler alert, we actually don't know that he's murdered. He could be... Oh, actually we do. Never mind, at the end.
No. Well, we see
still
flashbacks of a murder.
Because we get told that he could be missing, but then the very, very end of the episode, they say they found body parts.
And we do see flashbacks of a murder.
Right. Because I think about this a lot, where show creators will have a concept for a show, and it's like, how do you stretch that one concept over the course of several seasons?
See, but I think that's the difference of a Shonda Rhimes show going 5 seasons and like a Big Bang Theory going 14 seasons.
Well, Big Bang doesn't have like a central concept or a central theme. It's
right.
just like,
okay, let me take that back. Blue Bloods,
neighbors with a blonde,
or Suits, right?
But I'm talking like high level concept shows that are about one thing that stretch over the course of several. Like I was gonna say Breaking Bad. It's like in its essence, it's a guy that is a science teacher that sells meth. It's like, how do you stretch that out? Like,
but I don't think what did Breaking Bad do? 5 seasons?
5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think 5 seasons is really the sweet spot for telling a complete story.
But this is such a someone was killed. Figure that.
Yeah, but this was
let's find out over the next 5 years.
Yeah, but this was like, how were they killed? Why were they killed? What are they doing to avoid being caught for getting killed? Yeah, so Breaking Bad was 5 seasons.
So okay, so that's kind of the overarching story. Is that
I see. The thing
her-
is, I would call that the A plot, and I would call that like the serial plot, right? That
that
through
is
every
the
episode.
the through line of this entire show.
Yeah. I think we have a B plot, which I think the B plot is where they get most of like the rich storytelling fodder, which is the relationships between the kid crew and the DAs,
So,
and the attorneys.
We get a sense that somebody on the inside could be responsible for Sam's disappearance
yeah.
and murder.
Well, and it's hinted that it could
And-
be Annalise, it could be
And we
the
get
kids,
a sense
it
that
could be
in this case, Hannah, who is Sam, again, Sam is the guy.
Sam's
that-
sister.
sister.
Did we talk about her in the characters?
We skipped over it.
Oh, we did. Okay, yeah.
Marcy Gay Harden, she plays Hannah. She is in everything. You will know her.
She
you
is
know
in
her
everything.
Face. You know her face. I can't even tell you what I've seen her in, but she's been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
But her character seems to be the one that's like sniffing around and getting a little too close, right? She's the one that's like not buying everyone's stories and kind of feeling that there's
Something
some
going on.
fishy business
Yeah.
happening.
Well, I think we even open on her being like, "There's foul play."
Yeah. Okay, so then the third plot, I would say,
I think every episode probably has an episode specific plot,
yeah,
and I think it always probably loosely revolves around either like an episode, like a what's the word I'm looking for here, like a lesson she's teaching in her class, or a case that she's working, or some like they mirror each other, right? Like I think that's kind of the cool thing here. So you have the main plot, which is someone was killed, or Sam was killed. You have the B plot, which is we don't know who did it, and
Yeah.
we're all trying to find out the intrigue. And then the episode specific like mirrors those plots, right?
I kind of want to put Idris Elba,
Yes, thank you.
but I don't know who I would get. See, now we're kind of teetering on they're all superheroes.
Well, hold on. You know who's? Hold on.
What are we
you
talking
keep,
about?
You keep talking. I'm just gonna,
Okay, so my first notes that I have are, it's been a while since we've had a good previously on.
It has been a while.
And the previously on, we've made this joke before in other shows that have had previously ons, but they go so fast, and when you don't know any of the characters, it's like Rebecca says that we should blah, 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 and then the guy's like, Annalise is blah, 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 and then the next one's like, Nate, what do you think about Wes? I think he could be the, and then it's over, and you're like, they just name dropped 15 people, and I don't know.
And you don't know
what
who
the fuck's
any of
going
them
on.
are. Real quick,
Anyway,
how do you think about
William
William
Jackson
Jackson Harper? Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Hunk, right?
Total hunk.
Probably on
Secret
Hunkmore.
hunk.
Secret Hunk, yeah.
He's a secret hunk.
Secret Hunk, yeah. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about the guy who plays Chidi Anagonye on The Good Place, Secret Hunk. I don't know if he's Mount Hunkmore status, but definitely definitely a contender. What? This is what this podcast is all about.
This is the most derailed episode. We haven't. You know what? We were due.
Yeah.
We were due.
It's been a while.
We haven't had the previous episodes of this podcast have been way too focused.
We actually have been talking about. You're right. Oh, see, you're opening a can of worms with this one.
Oh. See, I don't know.
You're
if he's-
opening a can of worms because I think by definition,
I think we need to define hunk.
yeah, I think by definition, Hunk needs to be like an overly muscled beefcake.
I think so too. Not to say that.
See, now producer Josh has entered into evidence Jeff Goldblum.
Okay, so
Who is daddy?
Yeah, correct. But however, is
Goldblum is daddy.
yeah is the
that's not hunk territory though.
I'm trying to think of a different monument to incorporate the word daddy into. So
Okay, I'll move along with the plot.
the Dadful Tower.
So, the episode is titled Best Christmas Ever, right? And the way I wanted to bring this up to see what you thought. I think that the show's timeline is purposefully very messy. We see flashbacks, we see
Yes.
flash forwards, we see perspectives of each character and their timelines, and they're all kind of interstitially put in and overlapping. And so, like,
Yeah.
I at points was kind of confused of like, is this happening now or is this happening previously? The flashbacks are your kind of classic, like very quick, dark.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a flashback.
Yep.
But then we get moments where I'm like, okay, she's at a party. Did this party already happen? Is this
So
like what the timeline? I think is
what's hard about this is we have everyone coming back from Christmas break in our episode.
yeah.
Then we flash back to each person's individual Christmas break, which is them dealing with the fact they
Right.
murdered
We
somebody
get each person's
at Christmas.
We get each person's specific perspective.
dealing with their
During
murdering
Christmas.
someone during their own individual Christmases,
Yeah.
which is like flashback level 1.
Right.
But then we also have flashback level 2, which is to the traumatic event, which I believe is them murdering somebody.
I think it's Sam.
Yeah, that's the whole point of
Because
this.
at the end of this episode, like,
They're freaked out about the fact that they found Sam's remains. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I
Okay,
picked that
okay.
up. Yeah, no.
the
The kid crew
so-
murders Sam.
and I think obviously Annalise.
Does Annalise know that kid crew murdered Sam?
I think so.
I don't think she does.
And Annalise and Frank are the ringmasters.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
So then,
I
how
think-
does Kid Crew?
I think Sam and Frank and Annalise were all probably partners. Annalise knows that Annalise knows that Sam is fucking around. Sam knows that Annalise is fucking around.
That's another thing we didn't talk about.
Frank makes the call to eliminate one of the two.
Right.
He sees Sam because apparently Sam was like messing around with college
Yeah.
girls, sorority
Right.
students. He sees that as the bigger threat.
That's actually
and
a pretty big plot.
it's a
point.
pretty big plot point, and I think Frank is the one who orchestrates Kid Crew taking out Sam.
So, let's talk about Hannah, because she is the one that Annalise is trying the hardest to convince that there is no
cover up.
cover up. And she has this, she gives Hannah this box of evidence to be like, here's everything you need. Like,
Yeah. So
there's nothing weird happening.
I think the question we have to ask is, does Annalise know that Sam was killed? Which is different.
I think so.
That's different than did Annalise have Sam killed?
What episode is this?
Mount Hunkmore, season 1, episode 11.
I think I would have to see the previous 10 episodes to answer
to really
that
know
question.
that question. Yeah. No, that's it's almost like we make wild assumptions about the plot, the characters, and Mount Hunkmore.
So everyone seems to know about Sam's disappearance. We kind
Yeah.
of established that.
Yep.
This is where we are introduced to Jackie. Jackie is an unstable, like, I don't even know how to describe her character. She's somehow related to this weird story of
Right. Well, so
women trapped in a basement. That's
her
her
whole-
house, but then she's also involved.
Yeah, so her whole plot is that she gets kidnapped by some guy.
Right.
At 6, or well, not kidnapped. She gets at 16. She's in some vulnerable, compromised situation, and some guy takes her in, and they get married. But he's abusive, and maybe it made it sound like maybe like a little pedophilic, maybe.
Yeah.
And she can't have kids, but they want to have kids or something.
Which again is a plot point that we.
So here's the
makes
thing.
sense for later.
Here's the thing, right? I think that part of this Jackie character is that Jackie is older, and there are 2 other girls who are taken hostage, and I think it's more that guy like took Jackie, abused her, held her captive, whatever. And then now that she's older, he's no longer interested in her, and she's
Right.
saying like, "Oh, it's because I can't have kids," but really it's because he's
Yeah.
into kids. So he abducts 2 new
Yeah.
kids.
But then she is involved because she apparently was helping him.
Right, and it sounds like we don't ever clarify if they're like married legally,
Yeah,
or
something-
if
yeah.
they're just like together, or what it is.
Throughout this entire episode, we get flashbacks from each of the, as Haas would call it, kid crew.
Yep.
Flashbacks. And the flashbacks are very mysterious, very quick, very dark, very looming. And we
Yeah.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that happens pretty consistently throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little.
Each
go ahead.
flashback. Well, each flashback explains the backstory and plot the thing that I love about Shonda Rhimes is these are all so compartmentalized, right?
Yeah.
So it's like flashback 1 is Laurel, right? And then it's her going to her family in Palm Springs, Florida, who doesn't agree with her life choices. And it's her like lashing out at them and having to deal with
the kickback from that.
Right. And then we get the next flashback, which is Wes.
Wes is having nightmares and panic attacks at night.
Yeah, because of everything that's happening. And then we get the next flashback, which is Connor.
Connor is gay.
Yeah.
And he is, I want to talk about this for a brief minute.
Also big into coke.
He's a drug addict.
Yep.
But Connor and his relationship with Oliver, the guy that plays Oliver is very bad at acting.
Yes.
Everyone else in the show, fantastic.
Yeah, yep.
But the guy that plays Oliver is like over the top, and also just like the energy didn't match. You can like, there's something about bad acting that you can just like feel and sense.
I think it's because everything in this show is meant to be so like the undercurrents.
Well, there's like a scene where they're like fighting, but they're not fighting because they like each other, but they can't accept that they like each other, and they're in the kitchen, and he just like jumps him and starts making out with him, which is like a pretty common trope.
Yeah,
that you see, right?
I would call it normal given the context.
But the way that it happens, you're like,
well, okay. So immediately after that, like he kisses him, right? And then immediately the line that he follows up with is like, he's like, Connor, I can't be with you because you slept with some other guy or whatever. You hooked up with some other guy. And then he's like, the line is specifically, the way you know how you are with drugs, well, that's how I am with you.
Yeah.
And it's delivered
very bad
in what I can only describe as poorly.
Is bad.
Very poorly.
And then Michaela's story is also like the whole thing is how these four are dealing with the thing that they've done.
The stress of having killed the guy.
She is engaged, and that is causing stress with her relationship with her fiance, and now he wants to call it off, which is in turn stirring up a whole other thing of shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about Jackie.
Right.
So we now know that she has a daughter?
No. Lynn,
one of the captives.
So the captives in order are Jackie is the oldest.
Yeah.
Lynn, and then other girl whose name is mentioned once but isn't really part of the story.
Right.
Lynn has a baby.
Yeah.
Lynn
has a baby.
Lynn gets impregnated by whatever the guy.
The guy.
The guy. Do we even get his name?
We do.
Know, maybe.
I don't know.
And then Lynn has that first baby, but Jackie tells the guy and Lynn that it's stillborn. So Jackie hides that child and raises that child as her own.
So
how and where and how that all works in the plot, I have no idea. But
she owns up to it and says that there is a 4-year-old child out there somewhere.
Yeah,
and she says that she'll let Annalise know in exchange for
a plea bargain.
Yeah. I figured it out the moment it happened. I don't know if you did. But
yeah.
It's pretty obvious if you just like...
Yeah, it's because the way Annalise phrases it.
Yeah, well, she comes in and she says, okay, we got your plea bargain. Where's the baby?
No, it's not even that. It's good writing because in a legal sense, she comes in and she says, we have a deal.
Yeah.
The deal is not specific.
And also, like, there was nothing to confirm. There was no witness to confirm that the deal was reached, right?
Right.
And she tells her where the baby is, and then in that moment,
the 4-year-old child.
And in that moment, I was like, "Oh, Jackie just got played." And then fast forward to the scene, and sure enough, she got played.
Yep. Yeah.
They recover the baby. Everything's fine. Again, this goes back to like the timeline thing because we see like as she is, it's that thing where like as she is explaining to Jackie the situation, we're also
watching the
SWAT
situation.
team, like break into this building and recover this child. No,
the SWAT team's earlier. The SWAT team is when they arrest pedophile.
But I mean, like,
but then we watch the police run by and then come back with the little girl.
And it's kind of like the timing kind of shows what's happening as she's already talking about it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Asher and Frank for a minute.
Sure.
Asher is a dick. He
Is he though?
He's not part of the group, but he's part of the group.
Is he though?
Yeah. He's not part of the group.
So
but
he
he's
has
part of the
he
group.
has this moment where he's with Frank at the bar, right?
Right.
And he really
And they're talking about chicks.
and yeah, and he is a douchebag in that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But then he keeps trying to. It's almost like he has a better understanding of the case before Viola Davis does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he keeps wanting to distance them from the case.
Right.
And then Winterbottom, what's her name?
Something Bonnie.
Bonnie. She confronts him and is like, stop undermining Annalise's authority. And he's like, oh, you want to talk about undermining authority? I could sue you for sexual harassment right now, but really you just hurt my feelings. Like, he was like, you're the one person
Yeah.
who wasn't an asshole to me, and then you were a complete dick for no reason. And it was in that
think
moment that I
he's-
was like, he's either playing for Leverage, another show we watched about horny lawyers, or he's legitimately like a nice character, and
Yeah.
and he's just kind of like
He's
stuck in the,
getting too close to it.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about the very, very ending really quick. So
Uh-huh.
the ending is Wes coming home to see Rebecca, and he's like talking and having a great time and in a good mood, and she's not listening because the news has now shown, breaking news, that the body of Sam, what's the fuck's the last name?
Sam
Keating, was found,
Yeah.
and now they know. Like,
Okay, to be fair, it's only suspected at
Right,
the end.
right.
I accidentally autoplayed the next.
I was gonna say, I
episode.
bet it's not his body.
It is. It is. The very next episode is like the same reporter, but supposedly like a day or something later, and they're
Yeah.
like, "It is confirmed."
Yeah, okay.
Sam Keating.
and so like that is a pretty bonkers of a cliffhanger. Right?
Yeah.
Do
Do you think this is one of those shows where every episode ends on a cliffhanger?
I would say almost every episode,
Yeah.
probably. There's so many moving parts and there's so many things happening that there is room to be like
Cliffhangers everywhere.
to just continuously
Yeah.
flip flop on who's good and who's bad.
Yep.
I don't even. Those are relative terms because
Right. Well, yeah, we don't even know. Viola Davis may be the bad guy.
that's what I think actually.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's the thing. Did you notice how the storyline, like the episode specific story, mirrors the who's good and who's bad run, right? Like
little bit.
Viola Davis goes out of her way to take on this case initially because she's like,
Right.
Jackie is a victim of abuse, right?
Right.
And then she realizes that no, Jackie's actually kind of just as guilty as the rest of them.
She is. You quickly learn that she's almost explicitly involved as well.
Yeah, and it almost mirrors that, like, maybe that's the through line, right? That Annalise got involved with Sam but didn't
Right.
know what she was getting into, and she's also kind of the victim. And like, they do kind of, like, mirror each other in that regard, right?
Let's quickly go through Bang Bang Dead.
I don't think we can do it.
Surprisingly, no sex in this episode.
No, untrue. There is implied jazz in this episode. Viola did
Implied jazz
Yeah.
is a reference from...
the Scandal episode.
Is it the Scandal episode?
Yeah,
of this
because they have
podcast?
implied jazz on the bed and then on the floor and then on the...
Oh, yes.
It's from another Shonda Rhimes show.
Oh, my gosh. Implied jazz. Write that down. That's a
That's a
reference that we'll
go
be making.
way back in the catalog to find where that's coming from.
yeah,
No,
okay.
because Nate and Annalise are like
the original Hunk.
They're like laying naked together in
Right.
Mount Hunkmore.
Other than that, like this is not a very sexy episode.
This is not a sexy episode. However, in terms of Bang Bang Dead, I would guess
I would
there
say
is
a lot of both.
If I had to guess, I would probably change the name of this segment for this show to Bang 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 Dead Dead.
Who is in the main cast? Who is most likely now no longer in the cast?
Like who dies?
Who's dead?
Michaela.
What makes you think that?
I think it's one of the kids.
I think that Asher gets too close
Okay.
and he gets killed.
Okay. All right.
I think because when Frank says like, "Do you want me to deal with it?" Like
He's talking about
Hannah, but
Yeah.
like Hannah and Asher are both in different ways, like circling around the truth, and I think that Asher's closer to it. We didn't even mention the whole car thing, which is like a whole other thing that's very weird.
But it was Connor's car that went missing.
Right. And Frank did it. We think. We know, actually. Anyway, I would say of the main cast, someone for sure dies. I don't see the main cast all living. That's way too convenient for a show like this, especially for it to go many seasons.
Well, I'll tell you this. Do you want to know? Do you want to know? I can tell you.
I mean, sure.
Dead. Asher Milner, dead. I'm sorry,
telling
Asher
you.
Millstone.
I'm telling you. I think it's because he gets too close.
That I guess that would work, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, there's obviously a lot of banging and a lot of death.
Yeah.
A show like this does not go 5 seasons without killing main characters and banging main characters.
I would agree with you.
I can kind of give you my final thoughts of this show. We have watched a handful of Shonda Rhimes shows for this podcast in the past. Like we said, she's a freaking Hollywood powerhouse. Like, she just puts out gold, right?
Yes.
This show kind of got me. There's enough for me to be like, what the fuck is going on? Because there's 2 different what the fuck's going ons.
Yeah.
One is, what the fuck is going on? I want this to be over. This sucks. The other one is, what the fuck is going on? And you want to know more.
Yeah.
This is that version of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like...
So you're saying young Sheldon is what the fuck, I want this to be over. And this is what the fuck is going on? All right, yeah.
But
okay.
so I think there was we're 11 episodes into the first season, and
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever has happened in the first 10 episodes, I want to know. And I think this show kind of got me. We talk about, is this a show that I would go back and watch? It's definitely on the list. Also, I'm apparently going to have to bump up *Halt and Catch Fire* higher up on the list. Apparently that show is way better than we gave it credit for.
Yeah.
Anyway, final thoughts. I mean, I think
we rated *Halt and Catch Fire* pretty highly,
high.
though. But it turns out it's even higher than that.
so. I think this show is kind of good, and I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Give it the big 3: writing, acting, directing. What do you think of those?
Writing is super clever,
Yeah.
because there are twists and turns that even if you see coming aren't like cheesy.
Yeah.
Acting for the most part very good.
The exception of the guy who plays Oliver.
And then directing, I will say, was excellent. The music is so cool, and like the music, like,
My only gripe with the music is, while it's good, it's very much the Jason Segel joke in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where he talks about dark, dramatic music.
I mean, it's true, because there's parts
you know what's happening in the show because the music
tells you how to feel.
Yeah.
But I think the music's good.
It's really good. It is really good music. You are right about that.
Out of 10. Oh
Yeah.
boy, I feel like I kind of want to give this a pretty high score.
Really? What are we thinking?
Like 8.1.
Oh,
It's
okay.
pretty. I might
yeah.
watch this show. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know what is going on.
I will tell you this.
And for the fact that the fact that we can jump into a random episode and me want to know what's going on is a testament to the writing and all that stuff.
I will tell you this. I think I won't watch this show. It's just like, if I'm going to watch a 40-some minute drama, I'm going to watch *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Right.
I'm going to watch any other number of shows. If this were a show that someone close to me would watch constantly and would constantly have on, I would totally watch this show.
Sure.
So the writing is so well done, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems compartmentalized almost to a formulaic sect like Young Sheldon almost, but like if they were good writers who cared about the product, right?
Right.
So even though it seems formulaic, even down to horny lawyers in Philadelphia, like literally it's probably like horny. It's a Mad Libs. Shonda Rhimes' writing style is a Mad Libs, right?
Yeah.
It's horny profession in city.
Yeah, I mean,
Horny doctors
not
in
wrong.
Seattle. Horny lawyers in Philadelphia. Like it's not.
You're not wrong.
It's formulaic, but it's good.
Right.
The writers are.
So-
it's still good.
so
the
wrap it
acting
up.
is amazing.
Wrap it up out of 10.
Out of 10, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna say 8.2.
It's pretty good.
It's really good. Just because I won't watch this,
Doesn't
doesn't mean it's not a really good show.
I think that's something to like think about when we give our ratings. It's not always like our personal opinions. It's like what we think the show deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's clearly a lot of fans. We'll wrap this up the way we normally do.
Did Viola Davis win her?
I think so.
Um.
I'm pretty sure she won.
No. Because this would have been an Emmy, right?
Yeah.
No, she didn't win for it then. Because she has in the EGOT, she only has OT. She only has the Oscar and the Tony.
Well, let's wrap things up as producer Josh picks the show for next week. If you guys are fans of the show, follow us on Instagram, YNSC Podcast. Leave some comments.
Twitter and Facebook too. Twitter and
same
Facebook.
thing.
Yeah.
Find us on YouTube. Get all the. If you're watching us now on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends.
Smash it, yeah.
In the comments, go to our Instagram page, and in the comments, leave your hunk Rushmore.
Yes, you're Mount Hunkmore.
Mount Hunkmore.
That's what this is. This is now a forum of Mount Hunkmores.
And use the hashtag
Mount Hunkmore.
Mount Hunkmore. Because we want to know who you guys think's.
Honestly, though, I really do. Like, if we get no engagement in a community other than people posting their Mount Hunkmores on our Instagram, that's it. That's all I need.
All right. So you guys know where to find us. You know what to do. Josh.
Producer Josh.
Next week, we are watching Lost in Space.
Ooh.
What? Lost in Space?
Yeah, it's the new I believe Netflix.
Well, but isn't this the... Wasn't there also a Lost in Space previously?
Oh, yeah, like a
Danger
super,
Will Robinson, yeah.
super old one. So I will leave it to you which version.
I think,
watch the new
I
one?
think the intent was for the new Netflix.
The new one.
Okay,
The new
the
one's
new
2
one.
seasons.
Three. Oh, three.
It's 2...
Third hasn't aired yet.
yeah,
You're right.
third
two,
hasn't aired.
2 seasons.
All right. Okay, so we are going to watch season 2.
Okay.
Okay.
We are rocking 10 episodes.
Ooh, these are also
So let me
50-minute episodes.
We are watching episode 5.
Right
Run.
in the middle.
Season 2, episode 5, entitled Run.
Do you want to read this?
John's
one
predicament goes from bad to worse, sending Judy on a frantic race across the planet. Penny spies on Smith with help from an old friend.
off? Oh, this is going to be a disaster.
Honestly,
I'm pretty excited. We haven't had sci-fi in a while.
we haven't had sci-fi in a while, but also isn't this a Netflix... this version is a Netflix original?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's based off of the old
one, but
it's the Netflix version. So.
Well, I think this was the height of the era where Netflix was just pumping a shit ton of money into shows, so...
Might
be good.
That was our thoughts on HGTW.
How to get away with murder.
Join us next week for an episode of Lost in Space. Follow us wherever you follow us and tell your friends.
Tell all your friends.
See ya.
Bye.
You never seen that.